Hello and welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour, a podcast about the world of EVs brought to you by the team at Electrifying.com. Well, blimey, has it been a week since the last podcast? Because last week I was moaning that it was too hot, but this week I think it's just about right for me. It's like a nice 14 degrees outside. This is t-shirt and shorts weather. So welcome along. If you can hear anything in the background, it's because I've got a bit of stuffing that's going on. I'm being stuffed, if that makes sense. Welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour. I'm Nicola.
I'm Mike.
And we have to introduce our newest member of the team. It's our amazing news editor. It's lovely Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello, lovely to be here.
Do I need to explain me being stuffed, by the way? It's probably best if I do. So our sofas arrived and they were a bit flat. So we've got a guy around that's basically restuffing our sofas downstairs. So
okay.
I see you're roast on something.
Are you allowed to name brands or anything? Who let you down with understuffing sofa?
I think it was Furniture Village. It just turned up and it looked a bit creased and a bit naff. So they sent round a guy to add some extra stuff in. So that's what he's doing. Just in case you can hear some banging and some drilling, because he's taking it apart and putting it back together again. All right.
Who knew that was a thing? There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, welcome to the Kilowatt Half Hour podcast. Also, welcome, Sam. It's nice to have you on for the first time.
I've actually been on 3 times before, but as middle-aged white men, we'll blend into the crowd.
I didn't. Nice to have you on for the 4th time. I didn't realise you'd been on it before. I'm so sorry.
No, I haven't. It's my first time.
Oh, you
hilarious.
You bugger. Right, okay. Let's talk about what we've been up to and what we've been driving this week. So I've been on a busy one. I've been on date number 4 with the VW ID Cross.
Oh my God.
Go again. This was a studio walk around this time. So now we've done a studio walk around of the concept, then drove the concept, then broke it, and then drove the covered version, and now gone to a studio to see the uncovered version, and then eventually we'll take the uncovered version for a drive abroad, and then we'll do the same again in the UK. So that was just date number 4, and it was good. And I have to say, I'm not going to give anything away because I can't tell you anything, but what I can say is the guys from VW were wonderful, and they gave me some really good props. Boom.
That's all you need. I've seen the pictures, and I think it's definitely a video you're going to want to watch, because it's I've never seen anything like it in my life. So yes, it's good.
Thanks so much, Mike. What have you been up to?
Well, this week it's always a sad week when you say goodbye to a long-termer, isn't it? And the Volvo EX30 cross country is departing on Friday. So I spent the weekend cleaning it and clearing out life really out of it, and it's always a bit sad, isn't it? So I'll be sad to see it go, because I've only had it 6 weeks, because I was supposed to have it for 3 months, but Vicky and I didn't do a swap for ages. It's been nice. It was interesting driving, because I went on the launch of the EX30, and we drove the all-wheel drive one, which is what this is, and Ginny had driven the rear-wheel drive one, I think the week before. And we had one of those things where we said, what do you think about it? And we both started the sentence at the same time, and I said, I really didn't like it. And Ginny said, I loved it. So I realised, okay. But the all-wheel drive one, I think, may have been pushed back in the development cycle because it just wasn't ready. The steering was like on the kind of 80s, console games where there's no feedback or anything. So it felt really, really light. It kept wanting to jump out of the lane. It felt really, really unfinished. But having driven this one now, it's almost gone the other way. It's not only just sort of okay, it's brilliant. The steering and the weighting and everything is fantastic. This is an all-wheel drive one as well. And it's night and day compared to the original launch cars. It's been a lovely thing. I'm still not 100% getting used to the fact that there are so few buttons in there, and I appreciate this makes me sound old. But a lot of the stuff that we flagged up on the launch to say, look, why have you got to go through 3 menus to get to the fog light, that kind of thing. It was all kind of, you've been on launch as well, you'll have heard this as well. Don't worry, this is just it's an early development of the
pre-production.
All be fixed. By the time the customers get it, it'll be on the front screen. You won't miss it. Yeah, it's still got all of those things, and it's all. Vicky hadn't activated the wireless systems on it, so the fact that you couldn't use the embedded Google Maps or the part of the infotainment system to navigate if you didn't connect your phone. I got a message about 3 weeks ago on my phone on the app saying, you haven't activated your free Wi-Fi yet. Why not do it now? So it says, costs you nothing. All you need to do. So it's clearly a data capture thing. So name, address, all this kind of stuff. They said, great, your Volvo will be completely connected next time you get in it. What I didn't realize was it kind of disconnected everything else. So you had to go through that kind of whole song and dance of connecting your phone again. So it was,
fun.
Yeah. Just as I was going to the airport as well. It's always when you it's not when you go to Sainsbury's or anything like that, is it? It's just when you think, right, I've got 2 hours to get to the airport. Yeah, so anyway. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's been really good. It's been a really nice car to drive. I've enjoyed my time with it. So I'll be sad to see it go on Friday. So there we go.
Do you give it like a sad wave goodbye as it goes?
I don't like to look.
Or do you just kind of throw in the key and leg it?
I get horribly attached to cars, even long-termers that aren't mine. I you just kind of think, I can't look out the window as it drives away. So, yeah.
I have to watch it go.
Do you? No.
If I get really attached to it, then I will stand outside the house and just kind of watch it go down the road and just be like, oh.
No, Karen and I, we parked hire cars at the airport and said, that was such a lovely holiday. I'd be so sad to see that little car go. Someone else is going to get to drive it now. So, yeah, I'm horribly sentimental with cars. I'd be interested to know.
Print off a little holiday snap with it.
Yeah, I've got probably more holiday snaps of the hire cars that we've had than we have of the hotels we've stayed in. So, yeah. Sad fact of life.
Sam, what have you been up to?
Yeah, come on, Sam.
I drove to France the other week, my trusty Hyundai Kona electric, second-hand. Obviously, it's not made of money, but it's I won't hear a word against it. It's the best car in the world, and I've driven it to Rome. I've driven it to the south of France twice. We drove it to Lyon last week, and it's just brilliant. I love it.
Amazing. So I find charging in France is actually really, really good. And even if you find like a random charger in the middle of nowhere, they tend to charge at the full speed that they claim that they do.
Yeah,
I've got this little card, like a charge map card, and I can just swipe it on anything in France, and it lets me charge, which is brilliant. I'm not sponsored by them. Maybe I should be. But the we had an e-Golf like back in 2019, and the infrastructure in France was terrible, and I nearly killed my sister-in-law's dog in the middle of a heat wave because we would aircon off and everything. But it's improved so much since then. So well done, France.
Okay, we're not killing dogs anymore, so that's a positive.
And I did see lots of Grande Pandas in Lyon.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
That's exciting.
You were complaining there weren't. I got very excited. The first 3 I got quite excited, and then 5 or 6 I was like, oh gosh, these things are everywhere.
No way! I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any on the road whatsoever. Wherever I've been, in every country that I've been, I haven't seen any. I'm so gutted about it.
Eyes peeled.
Yeah. Although I did get excited the other day because as we were driving up to the barn last week, I got really excited because I saw in the wild a DS number 8, and I was like, no way! Someone's actually bought a DS number 8. And then it turns out it was Wookiee's long-term car. It was a press car. I was like, oh, okay.
It was a close shave.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
It's like that.
We might see them out and about. But
it's like that Roy Hodgson meme, isn't it? Which I sent you the other day when he looks excited and so he goes, when you realise thinking almost there, but not quite. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, never mind. And then you took the Nissan Micra back, didn't you?
I got to drive the Micra for the weekend, and do you know what? I actually like it now.
Yes.
Did you? Right. This is right. Okay. So last week we were filming at the barn. 5. And that's incorrect. So we put them head to head, and as soon as Sam turned up, we were like, what colour's that supposed to be? But I think it was supposed to be orange, but it looks red. Definitely red.
It will fade to orange in the sun.
See what you think when the video comes out. I'm pretty sure that was just red. Just a red car.
I drove it to Milton Keynes at the weekend, and I saw so many of these like fluorescent Renault 5s driving around the place, and I just think we can't look at everybody. And I think a bright car, it's some people, obviously not you if you've got one and you're listening to this, it's not a substitute for personality. And the Micra, I think it sidesteps that neatly. It shows you're a bit of a connoisseur. You know that the underpinnings are reliable, but you're not too worried about the outside. That's my new take on things. The alternative choice. And it's so slow, it's really efficient. I got 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour out of it.
You're kidding.
That's not bad, is it? Were you driving it eco mode, or what the hell were you doing?
I only drive in eco mode, Nicola.
Oh, of course you do. You're just like Batch. Drives
Really?
me nuts.
I think there should just eco mode is just normal mode, and then there should just be wasteful mode and even more wasteful mode.
Yeah, waste it. That's what you're supposed to do. What's the point in having an EV if you're not going to put your foot down and enjoy winning at every traffic light? Do you know what I mean? Come on. But that is literally what Batch does. Even if there's like 200 miles in the car, he'll still drive it in eco mode because he's crazy. And
I do that. You've got to, even get out and push away from the lights just to save a bit of electricity.
I love the fact that my i3 had what was referred to as by other owners as Apollo 13 mode, which is, it's just kind of like nothing on. It's like that when when they're floating around in space, when they've had to switch everything off just to survive. That was kind of known. That it literally kind of turns everything off, the heating off. It restricts the throttle to like half power, and anything else that uses electricity. I'm sure the indicators flash half as frequently as they do on normal mode. It was genius. I mean, it's got me home. It's got me home a couple of times. But yeah, it would appeal to you, Sam. That you can possibly save even more.
We did get the Kona down to 1% on the motorway in France. I was very confident getting to the stop on the auto route, but Laura, Mrs. Burnett, in the passenger seat was getting very tense.
Yeah,
I would be. Yeah, I
like to live life on the edge.
That's too close for me, I think. So if that's 1%, how many miles did you have in there?
2 or 3. It stopped showing. It stopped showing you after 10.
No, I don't like this for you, Sam. Don't do that.
It's the only excitement I get in my life.
I'd be interested to know what cars people have run down to zero and how many miles they've actually had left. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're not, go onto YouTube, leave us a message. If you've got a car down to 0 miles, how many miles have you had available before it actually conked out? Because I think you'd be surprised. I think it would be in double figures for quite a few cars, but I don't want to chance it. So I'd rather the listeners told us.
But there is the added bonus that I learned from doing the El Pri a couple of years ago, that if you do run it to completely, like, to its death, and it does just completely stop, turn the car off, wait for 10 minutes, turn it back on again, you'll get a very, very slow, about 25 miles out of it, because that's technically running from the 12 volt. That's not running from the main battery. But if you do get stuck in the middle of nowhere, you can just kind of turn it back on again, and it will gently keep you going for a little bit longer to get you to a charger. Ba-boom.
If you press it to your chin when you turn it on as well, that gets you an extra few hundred meters.
I've also heard that. Yeah, that's also a thing. Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Right, yeah. Well, we've had loads of stuff come out on the YouTube channel this week. So one of them that I also want to mention as well while we're here is the VW event. So where I did my fourth date with the ID Cross, which was wonderful. There was so many cars there, and they turned it into a massive, massive event. And I have to say, fair play to VW. They've thrown some money at this big time, because it was up in Hamburg, right? We had to get a barge over to the other side of the river, and then you turn up at this warehouse, and there was like a whole presentation or whatever, and they were showing off the cars that are coming out soon, which we all know what the cars are. We know that there's the ID Polo, the ID Polo GTI, the ID3 Neo, which is the video that's just come out on Electrifying, the ID Cross, and there's some others coming out as well that we can't quite talk about yet. But they did a whole presentation, and then the big screen at the back of the presentation turned into big, exciting slidey doors, and they opened up, and then behind was like an outdoor street, but it was also indoors. It was an outdoor-indoor experience in a warehouse that looked like you were on a road, and it looked like it was little shops. So like every car was kind of in one little shop, there's your ID3 Neo. In one little shop, there's your ID Polo. In another little shop, there's an ID Cross and they were all little studios. And then they had different food stands along the whole thing. They had fake trees. It was amazing. It was amazing. I'm allowed to tell you now, which is really nice. Big times, big moments coming for VW.
Sounds like you're on German Coronation Street.
Yeah. There wasn't a pub, unfortunately. There was just a guy walking around with wine, which was nice.
That'll do.
It's my kind of pub.
Talking of big, we've got the EQS. Ginny did the walk around of the Mercedes EQS, which is 574 miles WLTP range. I mean,
Yeah.
every week there's like another 60, 70, 80 miles added to the next game change. I did the thumbnails for Electrifying. I think I've used the word game changer about 6 times already in the last month because it keeps changing all the time. But that
How
is,
many miles?
Let's say that realistically, you chop 100 off for bad weather. That's still 470 miles of range, which surely that's got to be enough for most people, hasn't it? I mean, it's going to be a 6-figure sum, isn't it, to buy that thing? But
wouldn't need to go down to 1%.
You could run it down to 1%.
Sam will be all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine with that. But yeah,
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy numbers that people will still find something to moan about. I think we said this before, didn't we? It's like people are going to start going, yeah, but I'm only going to drive it if it can do 600 miles. Or I'll only drive electric if it can do 700 miles. And they're like, well, here you go, here you go, here you go. And then they still keep finding ways to complain about it.
Why are people so threatened about EVs? You know, my social media everyone's very defensive. It's a strange hill to die on, isn't it? The fuel choice for your vehicle seems a very strange thing for people to get annoyed about. But people who don't
I find they're just the kind of people that, you know, the type of people that if you recommend a TV show to them, and if too many people recommend that TV show, they're like, oh, too many people banging on about it, I don't want to watch it now, just to be annoying.
I think it must be that.
I feel like it's that.
There's got to be a degree of that.
But also out on Electrifying this week is the Nissan Juke. Let's discuss, please, because I feel like we're all going to have different feelings about this.
Yeah, we briefly chatted about it before I clicked the record button, and I realised I'm at completely odds with you two because I don't mind it. In fact, I quite like it, but I'm gathering I'm very much on my own with this. What don't you like about it?
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like they've just gone, let's just add every possible line imaginable and see this nice bonnet that can just be nice and straightforward. Let's not do that. You see this grille? Do you know what? I just want to throw every possible material at this front grille just because it's fun. And down the side, I think we should just add at least 68 more lines just down. Do you know what? Just for styling and stuff. Do you know what they should have done? They should have got a Renault 4 and stuck a Nissan badge on it. And then they would have been on to a winner. Although we haven't seen the interior yet, so I don't actually know.
I think the first thing I thought when I saw it, it looks like someone's taken a potato peeler to the side of a Mini Countryman. It's kind of...
that's pretty good.
They've just taken something... It's actually quite sensible underneath, but it's just got all these... I think the bonus side is it's invisible to radar. That's going to be... I think you'll just be able to zoom past a speed camera and it will just bounce off at all angles.
Nice.
I think that's what they've gone for.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a faceted look, isn't it? I think that's the word they tend to use.
Glints in the sunlight.
Yeah, I just think it's different. I think Duke's always
diamond.
Duke's always been a controversial thing, hasn't it? You know, it's never been what you'd describe as a conventional looker. I'm just glad they haven't kind of taken the easy option, really. But
okay, well, maybe they should have done. See what the public's saying. If you've seen what the Juke looks like, put it in the comment section below and let's know. And as we know, if you think Mike is wrong, then tell him to his face.
As you know, if I like something, car manufacturers need to worry because I like the Smart and the A2 and the original Mercedes A-Class, all of which nearly bankrupted their owners. So
just giving it the kiss of death.
Nissan are probably redesigning it as we speak. Oh God,
someone's taking a plane to the side of it.
Make it nice and flat.
It's a vote of confidence in British engineering. They've looked at the design and they've thought, do you know who historically makes wonky body panels? Send this to the UK on top of things.
They're going to smash it.
And it looks like
quite literally. Did. Yeah, very nice. Right, what other news stories we got going on, Sam?
Well, it's not a big story. I mean, people who care about this thing, sort of thing, really care about this sort of thing. But Tesla full self-driving has been approved in the Netherlands, except it's not full self-driving. I mean, it's not even full or self-driving, but it's been approved, and that is the main thing.
Yeah, that's Tesla, the good news.
Full self-driving.
So, what?
Full self-driving supervised has been approved by the Dutch authorities, and they've given a very lengthy explanation as to 18 months. They've spent 18 months driving Teslas around and making sure they don't crash into things. And But really, what it is, it's just fancy cruise control, and they've given it this stonking great name. You can get this. There's a Ford one that you can drive through all the way down from Sweden all the way down to Rome on certain roads. They'll let you take your hands off the steering wheel, like on a roller coaster, and then and it will drive along the motorway. So that, I mean, the Tesla thing, you're allowed to, you can take your hands off the wheel. Basically, that's what they'll let you do.
Okay. Well, I mean, we already kind of do that anyway in a lot of different cars, and then you just get told to put your hands back on the steering wheel, right? So they're just telling you don't have to bother putting your hands back on.
Well, there are sensors in the car, so they'll be watching you. So they've explicitly said, the Dutch, that you cannot read a newspaper while driving.
Ah, okay.
Killjoys.
You can't raise the roof like you did in the 90s. Can't do any of that while you're driving.
You could do the robot, because that's your hands would be near the steering wheel.
Yeah.
But I think if you raise the roof, that would be too much out of control.
Got it. Right. Just so we know where the line is. It's important.
It's pretty blurred, that line, in terms of what you can and can't do. Yeah. Basically nothing. You can take your hands off the steering wheel in a Tesla. Presumably only in a Tesla that's been approved and had all this regulatory.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it in any other car.
No, okay.
You just steer off the road.
You can't drive your own car into the Netherlands and just say, well, there we go. That's it. No.
Well, look, I mean, a lot of the cars with like lane keep assist, you can literally just go boop, see what happens.
I like to think
I'm not suggesting that you should.
No.
It's like when you go bowling with the little things in the gutters. Yeah, just sort of bounce along the motorway.
Yeah, it's fine. Makes life more entertaining. Mike, what you got?
Well, we've talked about lots of cars arriving. We've got one that's disappearing. The Kia e-Niro is disappearing.
Oh, Sam, are you right?
I don't have a violin sort of sound effect I can play in. But Kia have sold 100,000 electric vehicles in the UK, which is amazing, isn't it? Considering where we were even, 4 or 5 years ago. And the Niro has accounted for a huge chunk of that. But now, with the arrival of EV3, EV2, and potentially EV1, there's no home for it, because it doesn't really fit into the grand plans of everything looking the same, I suppose, if you're Kia. I think it's they're calling time on it, which is quite sad, really, because it was a really economical thing as well, wasn't it? It was kind of, I think everybody expected efficiency to kick on when things like the car you've got as well, the Kona and the Niro E, or the e-Niro, disappeared. But in fact, the cars that replaced them were the same, if not worse. I mean, when I got my Ioniq 5, I was thinking, well, I know the car that he's replacing is very good, so the Kona's really good. So my Ioniq 5 is going to be even more, and it wasn't. It was even worse. So a big, heavy car, I suppose. But it's sad to see.
Like a really sensible pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Comfortable shoes. It's a bit sad that the option's gone now.
Yeah, but there we go. I mean, eventually the ones that they're releasing now will be the comfortable pair of shoes. They'll just be a newer pair.
Time moves on.
We did consider a Niro when we bought our Kona.
Yeah.
But there are too many minicab drivers in London, because we were living in London at the time, and every driver with an app has a Niro, and I feel like they've killed the image. Yeah,
they killed off the vibe, and that's what they did with the Prius as well, didn't they? Like, no one bought Priuses anymore because everyone was a caddy.
So where are they going to go next?
I don't know. I mean, you get a lot of Teslas. I'm seeing
they're all
a
in
lot
Model
of
3s around here.
MG5s.
Yeah,
the estates. A lot of those around here are cabs.
Yeah,
in Sussex. Yeah,
Nissan Juke next.
They would never. They would never.
At least you got a nice flat surface to put the stickers on, though, Sam, haven't you, on the side? So that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we welcome some of our newcomers to the world of electric who've been in touch? Okay. The first one is cryptically, it's from somebody called the Mav Man.
Ooh.
Have no more information than that. I've been absolutely besotted with the Polestar 2 since its launch. Thanks in part to your reviews. I have saved up a few years, and it will be collecting my first EV this coming Saturday. I mean, in true transparency, the Madman sent me this a couple of weeks ago. I've only just got around to reading it out, so he's probably got it now. Let's hope he has anyway. It's a dual motor Polestar 2 in black on a 71 plate with only 26,300 miles on the clock, which is good. Now it comes with another choice to make, which tariff to switch to. I've got no solar or batteries as yet, and I've opted to go with a hypervolt charger. I'm tied in with British Gas until later this year, so going with their EV tariff to begin with. Any inside info as to which tariffs would be good in our situation? What I didn't get to finish on this note was the fact that he also works nights, so it's the opposite problem to what we normally have, in so much as he needs the car at night. So
right.
So what you really want to find is something that has a low. I would almost say don't bother with an EV tariff if you're going to be regularly charging during the day. So the cheapest I could find was Ecotricity on a 2-year fixed contract, which is 23p for a peak, whereas on British Gas you're paying over 31 pence peak. So, but if you want to find out what the latest and the best deals are on tariffs, we have those on the website. Tom puts those together every week and updates them. So if you want to know which is the best one to move to, have a look at that. But I reckon, you can get it down if you're charging don't bother with an overnight cheap one if you're only going to be charging the car during the day. Just go for the cheapest you can find for the day. So, but yes, welcome Mavman to the world of electric.
Yeah, Mavman. But also, if you're saying that you don't have solar yet, if you're only really going to charge during the day, solar will be your friend. That will be the perfect thing for you. I mean, we have solar, but we don't have batteries for storage. So I charge as much as I can during the day when I know it's just coming straight from solar. We just, on my Zappi charger, if you put it on Eco Plus, then it literally just trickles straight from the solar. So
there's the answer.
Totally worth it. Yeah.
If you're working nights, I would suggest charging from a neighbour's house after they leave for work.
Yes.
Nice.
Then you just need to set your alarm before they get back.
That's really nice. I like that. Yeah, just don't tell them.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. Screw the neighbours.
Sam Burnett at electrifying.com.
Suggest that tariff to them, so then they're getting the best value.
Right, we've also had loads of questions come in as well. So this is from, what we got here? Mark Fenterman, who says, I have a query that you might be interested in answering for me. I do a mixture of driving short range around town, medium range to the office and back, and then long drives a few times a year up to the Midlands to see my family. I've been looking at buying a second-hand EV for my next one, and it seems like the Kia EV6 would be a fantastic choice. Very nice. For approximately 18,000 to 20,000, you can get a 3-year-old model with 40,000 miles on the clock, still with the remains of the Kia 7-year guarantee and their basic air trim, and it has a lot going for it. It also seems like it would suit my driving needs, as I mentioned before, and it will be quite enjoyable along the A272. I was wondering what your thoughts were on the matter and whether you had any recommendations. Well, I mean, straight away, Mark, I'm a big fan of the EV6. I think I said this on last week's podcast, even probably the one before. I think the EV6 is a fantastic car. The only thing that has been pointed out to me about the EV6 and a few other Kias is a friend of mine doesn't like their font.
I like that. I respect your friends. I like that. I wouldn't buy a car.
He took one for a test drive and he was like, I'm not buying this car. I hate the font.
Fair play.
So if you're a font guy, you might want to look elsewhere. However, the EV6 is a cracking car.
He doesn't mention
a good deal to me.
Whether he's a font guy or not. But A272, that's down in your neck of the woods, isn't it? Isn't that your sort of one?
A272, I think so. I'm going to have a Google.
I've got fond memories of the A272. I wrote a feature on it once on favourite driving roads. I was in a Mazda MX-5 and I was absolutely ambushed by a humpback bridge coming around a corner, and all 4 wheels left the road, and I had about 8 minutes to contemplate my life and my career flashing before my eyes.
Yeah, the A272 goes basically along, like, all the way up to sort of Winchester, Midhurst Way, goes through Horsham.
Yeah.
So wave at me when you pass through. Nice.
Okay, so you're very much team EV6. So you're telling me not to sway from that. The only thing I could throw to that was a Cupra Born, which I had as a long term, and I thought was really nice. But you may want something bigger than that. I don't know, but Cupra Born would certainly give you the entertainment that you would want and all the other kind of whistles and bells. True. Certainly for that kind of money as well. Yeah. Sam?
I spent my lunch thinking about this. I basically considered looking at used cars as a hobby. I invent like lifestyle requirements for myself and decide what I'm going to buy. EV6, great shout, and I love how weirdly specific parts of that account were. I would go for a Polestar 2, perhaps. I think that would be a nice little car to have.
Yes.
Mustang Mach-E, fun to drive.
That's
true. We always forget about that car, don't we?
I always forget about the Mach-E.
Yeah. And the Ioniq 5 would be, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 would be my other sort of wild card. 5N, if you're feeling particularly fancy. And all of those have good ranges.
Yeah, not for that
Yeah.
money.
If you're going up to the Midlands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only up to the Midlands. It's not horrendously far, is it?
Well, you're around the M25.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just sitting at a standstill there, wouldn't you? It's fine.
That's the one thing I keep telling friends. Since I started driving electric, I absolutely love a traffic jam because it's so good for regen.
Yes. Yeah, you crave a 50 mile an hour zone.
I was like, a lot of traffic.
It's great. That figure goes way back up again. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so Mark, we think we've sorted you out. I think, we've got plenty of options there. Let us know what you go for. One other from Alistair McClelland. Thanks for a great podcast. I've listened to every episode since first. It's more than some of us have. That's good. Well done. I never write in, but I thought I would help with your spreadsheet. I know you're looking for efficiency data.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of these. I've done 29,300 miles and an ID3 with 19-inch hours. Doing all those miles, I've averaged 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. There's a combination of country, city, and motorway driving. I hope this helps plug in the data. I think 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour is just generally the average, isn't it? I can't think of any
that's
other
just literally bang on the average that we would expect. So that's pretty good.
When I used to work on Britain's best-selling weekly car magazine, whenever we didn't have the figures for the fuel consumption, it was always 45 miles to the gallon. That was just generally the default. You'd spend 2 hours chasing up. This is kind of a lot. This is how old I am. Pre-internet time, you'd find half your day trying to track down a PR person on a landline to get the information. It's 45.1 miles to the gallon. You think, well, I should have just put that in. This page could have gone 3 days ago. But I think 3.5 miles. So
just chuck in a little 3.5 and you're good to go.
Is generally the thing. So so there we go. Thank you, Alice. We did have a load, and I think we're looking at trying to do a spreadsheet that you can fill in yourself, because we've had so many emails from people giving us figures and things that I think, unfortunately, we can't possibly try and get them all put into our own ones. But if we have a sort of crowdsourced one, I think that seems to be the plan. We're going to try and get some realistic figures from.
Did you miss out that final line on purpose, Mike?
Yes, because my humility got the better of me, so that's fine.
Read it.
It says, "P.S. Mike, you are my favourite."
That's nice.
I don't know Alice personally. I must put that out. Full disclaimer. So
it's really nice of your brother to send a message like that.
And he change it and change his name so successfully. Yes, he has got an ID3 actually. Sam,
I'm 35,000 miles in my Hyundai Kona. I've got 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm just going to say
that's just showing off.
Oi! Banging. That's because he's in eco mode all the flipping time.
And never put the air conditioning on.
Yeah.
We've had a message from Usman Liquat. I apologise for butchering your name, Usman. It says, love the podcast and the channel in general. I don't know where to put the emphasis there. In general. Oh, no, he's a huge fan. He's a huge fan. So really he's a big nerd, excited in EV tech in general. But there is a point often repeated that Usman does want to correct. Who's in trouble? He says, when the Mercedes CLA was announced, you complained, not me, that it could only charge at 800-volt chargers. And we implied that there weren't many about. But this is true for chargers installed before 2022 and Tesla superchargers, which totals around 25 to 35% of 150 kilowatt plus chargers. Usman has done his maths. Most 150 kilowatt plus chargers, the lads are outraged about this, installed in the last 4 years are actually capable of outputting up to 1,000 volts. If you're the owner of an 800-volt car like mine, you can actually pull up at many 150 kilowatt chargers and get about 180 kilowatts out of them, courtesy of the extra voltage, he says. A pleasant surprise for his EV6 recently at an Instavolt, but it did send him down this really nerdy rabbit hole. That's
a really nerdy rabbit hole that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
But I would say, for me, the principle is that you shouldn't have to pay extra to charge on 400-volt chargers. On the slower ones, to me, that I'm outraged. I'm outraged by it. That's why I'm not getting a Mercedes CLA.
Yeah, of course.
You can sneak an extra 30 kilowatts of power, and you're only paying for 150. Is that what you're?
That's nice.
Your complaint.
I'm going to plug in my Kona to a 150 kilowatt. It all would explode. I don't know what would happen.
It would. It totally would.
I had worked this out. I do not understand the logic behind it. I grasped it for about 30 seconds and it went out of my head. But I know I did look at this, that, because the Ioniq 5 would often charge at a higher rate than I was expecting it to. and because obviously it's got the same 800 volt system, and it's only when I googled it and went down the equal rabbit hole to Usman to find out that was actually the reason why. But,
so good
anomaly.
rabbit holing. Nice.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was good. Well, it was Usman's done the heavy lifting there because he's actually explained it, whereas I
wasn't congratulating you. I was congratulating Usman, but
okay. None taken. Okay.
Good rabbit holing, Usman. Very nice.
Thank you.
Right, let's have a little look at the comments from last week, right? Because last week on the podcast we were talking about good cars for terrible roads. On the script it's worded slightly differently, but I've been told off for swearing quite a lot over the last few weeks, so I've gone with terrible. So we've got @Ian Goatee, who says, if you do a feature on cars that cope well with poor roads and potholes, might I suggest either rural Romania or better still East Sussex as the test location? Now, I can vouch for this. Technically, I'm West Sussex, but I can vouch for the terrible roads within Sussex in general. We have got a road down literally round the corner from us that we have to take quite a lot when we want to make our way to the A24. And it's like the team from the Artemis 2 brought back a crater and just put it right in the middle of the road. And it's one of those roads that's 40 mile an hour, but you have to make your way right to the middle of the road to get out of the way of it, because that will blow some tyres. Seriously, it's so bad. Have you got the same? You must have the same.
Yeah, well, it's not a lot better here. No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, so yes, which we fancy, East Sussex or Romania? What's more handy for you, Nicola, if we're going to do that review?
Let's go Romania. It's probably quicker.
Okay, I thought it would be, yeah.
And cheaper.
You can go down the A272 to East Sussex, can't you?
Yes, I can.
It's very
in an EV6.
This all links together nicely, doesn't it?
Nice.
Alan Gravy 27, which is probably the best name of anyone who regularly messages us.
Great.
A good choice for poor roads is any Volkswagen Group car with dynamic chassis control, which DCC, which is the name that Volkswagen, Skoda, and Cupra and Seat use. You get 15 settings from loping French back road to ouch. It's definitely optional on the ID7. Enyaq and Elrock and standard on some GTX and VRS versions. Yeah, it is very good actually. DCC. I'd say that it's probably the two parameters you mentioned are probably not the extreme. It's like a lot of these dynamic and changeable systems. You think, oh, this is great, and then you think you press sport, and then you press comfort, and you think, I didn't really notice any difference. Or is that just me? Does anyone else think, oh, there doesn't seem to be a whole hill of difference between one and another?
Yeah, it depends on the car. But I really like the wording of the from loping French back road to ouch. I think that's a really nice way of doing it. And I might have to try and get that in some videos at some point, because that's absolutely brilliant. Good writing.
Yes, excellent. Sam?
Tim Oliver 8940 says, I also live in rural central Scotland and rarely drive in town or on motorways. Parts of the A811 I drive on are worse than a track a Land Rover would struggle with. He does have a 2023 Land Rover Defender 90 on air suspension, so he knows what he's talking about. However, I find that my Mini Countryman SE on the 19-inch wheels handles the potholes really well. I will say it's because the ride is so bad everywhere, you don't notice the difference.
That's what I was thinking.
Today, 4 miles of the worst potholed sections of the western end of the A811 are closed to traffic because the surface is now so badly broken that they aren't patching potholes, they are rebuilding whole sections of the road.
Whoa!
You'll ride nicely on that, wouldn't it?
It's a scandal.
I mean, I saw an article this week. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I did see an article online that basically people are blaming the weight of EVs because of the amount of potholes and how bad they are this year. But then at the same time, you go abroad. We go abroad all the time. And the roads in every other country, literally every country we go to, you're like, these roads are stunning. Even though they're also using a lot of EVs. You go out to like Japan or something and they've got the most beautiful, stunning roads and they drive a lot of EVs, exactly the same in China. It's like they know how to look after their roads. It's not down to the weight of EVs. Okay, so stop moaning, everybody.
If everyone drove in eco mode,
then it would be fine and everyone would be late for everything. This is from Mike Farmer 82, who says a good vehicle for the pothole roads is a Volvo A40G. A bit too wide, perhaps, but I can't beat for dealing with poor road surfaces. Had to look this up. It's an industrial excavator used
I
in
added that bit.
quarries.
Yeah. If I typed it into Google because I thought, have I missed something?
Yeah.
Have I missed a launch here as the A40G?
I'm going to Google it right now.
It's one of those things that's about
A40.
10 meters wide.
I was thinking it was a classic 70s estate.
That's what I thought it could have been. I thought that'd be nice.
Oh, it's a truck.
It's massive.
Fair play. Yeah.
I'm sure it would.
It's a big digger.
I'm not sure it's electric either, is it? But anyway.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But it looks fun. I'll drive one.
Yeah, okay.
It's the automotive equivalent of getting rickrolled.
Yeah.
NZA1 from YouTube says, I switched to 18-inch wheels because the roads near me are ... suboptimal. It's made for a much better ride and a less stressful journey. Yeah, so I think, that's pretty much the case. We also got told off for calling 18-inch wheels small because they're not to a, like 15, 16 inches is small for a lot of cars.
Well,
or used to be anyway. So, yeah.
Speaking of small, this name is either Mrs. Carey, 1942,
yes, I saw that.
or Mr. Scary, 1962. I don't know which one it is. I'm going to go for Mr. Scary because it's a bit more fun that way.
Yeah.
So why are car manufacturers so obsessed with large wheels and low profile tyres? I had a Prius with 15-inch wheels. I had my first Leaf on 16-inch wheels, and it was frugal and rode really well. I now have a 2023 N-Connector on 17-inch wheels, which rides okay, but would be nicer with squidgy tyres. EVs need harder tyres for economy, but I'm tempted to use small wheels with fat tyres for improved comfort. And yes, I would agree with everything you just said there, Mr. or Mrs. Carey or Scary.
Yeah. It's just vanity, isn't it? I guess when we have big wheels on stuff. Designers, it looks better to some people.
Yeah. You know what they say about cars with big wheels?
Yeah, expensive tyres. Yeah.
More likely to have pothole damage?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's exactly the gag.
I bet. What have you got? Little wheels on your Kona, Sam? You've got cheap tyres. What do you mean you don't know? You don't look at the wheels?
It has wheels.
No way.
Right. Do
you not know the size of the wheels on your car?
It didn't come with a press pack, so I have no idea.
It's written on the tyres, Sam.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'll check. I'll leave a comment.
Don't go now because we need you to finish the podcast. But next time,
Mrs. Burnett.
Next time you're on
farm today.
If there is another time
until she's back.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
Sam?
This next name. Do you know what? One of my favourite parts of watching the podcast is watching my colleagues struggle with people's usernames.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, it's quite hard. Octarine HK.
Yeah.
It says, consider the Jeep Avenger for bad roads. I rented one this past weekend, a petrol, sadly. You're no longer allowed to watch these. And the ride over speed bumps and potholes was its only redeeming feature.
Oh.
Poor little Jeep Avenger. That's a bit mean.
Manos loves the Jeep Avenger. Makes him very happy.
Oh my God, he's
overexcited.
obsessed with the Jeep.
Every bloody time he sees one, he's like, best car ever. Best car ever. Every time they drive past, he's such an idiot.
What is that?
Hi, Manos, who's editing this, by the way.
Oh yeah,
that might have been his comment.
Yeah, it could have been.
On the subject of apps and infotainment disasters, this is off the back of me having a moan for the last couple of weeks. So we've got at W Wanderers, who says, I found your chat about vehicle apps really interesting. So for me, it's now another aspect of the car that's equal to driving characteristics or design. I would love an episode or a video focusing on just this topic. As a Tesla owner currently, I look at replacement cars, but I'm unsure if a dealer would allow you to access the app until you've bought the car. For me, it's so important. So for now, I just feel like it's best to stick to the Model Y. I'm keen to get into a BYD, so if you fancy doing an app review, please make it top of the list now.
Yeah, you got inside information on this, haven't you? Because you had the BYD long-termer.
Well, I didn't have the app.
What?
I did the whole 6 months without the app. However, moved into the Polestar 4, and the app for the Polestar is brilliant. Really, really good. Really just like the most straightforward, easy to use app ever. It's literally got like 6 buttons on it. Nice. Done. And because my Zappy charger app has stopped working for some reason, I can now see how many miles are actually in my car and if it's properly charging through the Polestar app rather than my Zappy app, because that's not working. So makes me happy. So there we go.
But it is an interesting thing, isn't it? Because it is such a big part of ownership of cars is how the app works with the rest of your car. It's from setting the charging overnight and all that kind of thing. But it's the thing, and it's also it's a bit of a grey area with us because we have a car for a week. We don't necessarily want to set up an account, which a lot of the time requires you to put card details against it, all this kind of verification stuff. So we don't really get the full picture. It's only when we run cars as long-termers that we tend to download the app and make sure that, work out how it integrates with the car. So and dealers, likewise, I doubt they spend the time downloading apps and showing. But there needs to be like a demo mode, doesn't there? So they can show people how stuff works.
Yeah. It's a good shout.
When I downloaded the Volkswagen app for the first time when I had my e-Golf, it was an absolute game changer because I'd lose my car all the time. I always forget where I parked it. And when I lived in London, I used to have 3 spots that I would park in, so then I could go and check those first. But if those were busy, I would never be able to find my car again. So being able to find it on my phone, brilliant.
You're adorable.
There you go. Scott, that's the one function I've never used.
I don't think I've ever lost my car.
No.
I've never been in that scenario where I've just forgotten where my car is.
Oh, I lose more time.
So interesting.
Supermarkets, holidays.
I always just remember.
And you could tell people it's the car with the 18-inch wheels. And you say you won't be able to do that because you don't know what size the wheels are. So
I'm checking all the tyres.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we have one last one, Sam?
Yeah, go on, let's go for one last one.
John Graham 1321 says, regarding the EC3, he says, yes, the app is paid for after only 1 year, but as it doesn't really do anything, it's not worth paying for, he says. Now, I see why Mike has put this one in. It says, Mike is right. That the promised software such as cabin preconditioning and scheduled charging wasn't available even after a year of ownership. The EC3 screen was unstable and would reboot several times at startup. Many owners have the same problems, and some of us rejected the car because of it. Now I feel a bit bad for the EC3. The Hyundai Insta app knocks Citroëns out of the park.
Oh, fight.
I really like the Insta. It's such a great little car.
A fight between apps.
I think it's such a weird time that we're in now, where we're judging so many of our cars on the software and not by how they drive a lot of the time. One of the main questions that you're asking is what's it like within the software? And you're like, God, that's crazy that we're now living in that world like that. Whereas used to buy cars years ago and just be like, I like how this drives. It goes fast and I like it. I like these dials. That's great for me. Oh, and look at that. I can turn some fans on. Brilliant. I miss those days.
Sorry, ain't coming back.
Yeah. I miss my old Ford Puma coupe that used to rust around the wheel arches and just had a CD player that I got put in that got stolen every 5 minutes. You know what I mean? I just miss it. I miss my little analog dials and all that.
We should go.
Anyway,
at this point, I think we've reached a point of no return.
Yeah, we have. Right. I need to go and check on my shepherd's pie because I've got one in the oven.
And your stuff.
All right. Oh, my stuff. I think he's done because there's no noise going on downstairs. But that was what was triggering it off the dogs.
Okay.
So I'm excited to have a proper puffed up sofa. Anyway, any comments and things, then email them to podcast@electrifying.com. Put them in the comment section below if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe, tell your friends and all the things. And we'll see you. I'll say we'll see you. I won't see you because I think next week there's a podcast coming from China.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to work well. Yep, it's cheaper.
Well, the plan is to do a podcast from China. We're talking about Ginny, by the way, because she's going to be out there. But whether it works or not is another thing. So watch this space. Nice. Thanks, team.
Bye.
Bye.